Hi, so you want to talk to computers? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. You want to make video games? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. You want to get rich? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Learn how to program? No. Why? It's hard. Why? You just Google stuff. Kinda. Oh, what is programming?
Let's face it, learning to program can feel intimidating. You might think it's all about memorizing endless lines of code, but here's the truth. Programming is about solving problems, not memorizing syntax. Code is simply a tool. It's a way to communicate with computers and get them to do amazing things. Imagine you're building a house. You wouldn't start by memorizing the names of every tool in the shed. You'd first need a blueprint, a plan. Programming is similar. You need to break down complex problems into smaller, manageable steps. This is called computational thinking. Once you understand the problem, you can choose the right tools for the job. In programming, those tools are programming languages. Python, JavaScript, Java. They're all just different ways to give instructions to a computer. Don't get bogged down in the specifics of syntax. Focus on the logic. The real magic happens when you combine your problem-solving skills with your coding tools. That's when you can create websites, build apps, analyze data, and so much more. So ditch the fear of syntax and embrace the power of programming. Learning to program is like learning a new way of thinking. It's about training your brain to approach problems with logic and precision. Think of it as developing a programmer's mindset. This mindset is all about breaking down complex tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks. You start by defining the problem clearly. What are you trying to achieve? What inputs do you have? What output do you need? Once you understand the problem, you can start designing a solution. This involves coming up with a step-by-step plan or algorithm. Don't be afraid to experiment and make mistakes. Programming is all about trial and error. Each error is an opportunity to learn and improve your skills. As you gain experience, you'll start to recognize common patterns and apply them to new problems. Remember, programming is a skill that is honed through practice. It's easy to get stuck in tutorial hell. You spend hours watching videos and completing tutorials, but you never feel like you're actually learning to code. You can recite syntax, but you struggle to build anything on your own. This is because tutorials often focus too much on memorization and not enough on application. To escape tutorial hell, you need to start building real projects. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start small. Pick a simple project that interests you and try to build it from scratch. You'll encounter challenges and make mistakes, but that's where the real learning happens. As you work on your project, you'll be forced to apply the concepts you've learned in a practical context. You'll also develop valuable problem-solving skills as you overcome obstacles and debug your code. Remember, the goal is not to memorize every single syntax rule. It's to understand the fundamental concepts of programming and how to apply them to real-world problems. Break free from the shackles of endless tutorials. Embrace the power of hands-on learning. Start building, start experimenting, and start creating. Your journey as a programmer begins the moment you step outside your comfort zone. The Pareto principle states that 80% of effects come from 20% of causes. In coding, 80% of results come from 20% of what you learn. Identify that crucial 20%. Focus on core concepts and principles. This includes data structures, algorithms, and control flow. Master these fundamentals to become proficient. Don't learn every feature of a language. Focus on commonly used features and tools. Use the 80-20 rule to your advantage. Learn effectively and achieve your goals faster. Section 5. Active recall. Outsmart your forgetful brain. Let's face it, our brains are not designed for passive learning. We forget things incredibly quickly, especially when it comes to complex concepts like programming. That's where active recall comes in. It's a powerful learning technique that forces your brain to actively retrieve information from memory, making it much more likely to stick. The basic idea behind active recall is simple. Instead of just rereading notes or rewatching tutorials, you actively try to recall the information without looking at the answers. You can do this by using flashcards, summarizing concepts in your own words, or taking practice quizzes. For example, after learning a new concept, close your laptop or put away your notes and try to explain it to yourself out loud. Pretend you're teaching it to someone else. This forces you to actively retrieve the information from memory and identify any gaps in your understanding. Active recall can feel challenging at first, but it's one of the most effective ways to learn and retain information. So, ditch the passive learning habits and embrace the power of active recall. Your brain will thank you for it. Section 6. Spaced repetition, the secret sauce for long-term learning. Spaced repetition is another powerful learning technique that can help you learn programming more effectively. It's based on the idea that our brains learn best when we space out our learning sessions over time. This allows us to forget information and then relearn it, which strengthens the neural connections and makes the information more likely to stick. To use spaced repetition, you can use a flashcard app like Anki, or simply create your own flashcards. The key is to review the information at increasing intervals. For example, you might review a concept after 1 day, then 3 days, then a week, then 2 weeks, and so on. Spaced repetition takes advantage of a cognitive phenomenon known as the forgetting curve. By reviewing information just before we're about to forget it, we interrupt the forgetting process and make the information more memorable. It's like giving our brains a little nudge to remind them what's important. Spaced repetition might seem counterintuitive, but it's one of the most effective ways to learn and retain information over the long term. So if you want to make sure that your coding knowledge sticks, incorporate spaced repetition into your learning routine. Section 7. Note-taking for coding ninjas. Capture, condense, conquer. Taking effective notes is crucial for learning to program. Don't write down everything you learn. That's a recipe for information overload. Focus on capturing key concepts, insights, and code snippets. The Cornell note system is effective for programming. Divide notes into main area, Q column, and summary. Create code snippets or cheat sheets for quick reference. Remember, your notes are for you. Have a system for capturing, organizing, and reviewing information. Section 8. Building your coding arsenal. Projects over perfection. The best way to learn to program is to build things. Don't get bogged down in trying to learn every single concept before you start building. Pick a project that excites you, even if it seems a little daunting at first. Break it down into smaller, more manageable steps and start building. Building projects allows you to apply what you're learning in a practical context. You'll encounter real-world challenges and learn how to solve them. You'll make mistakes, but that's okay. Mistakes are valuable learning opportunities. Embrace them and use them to improve your skills. Don't be afraid to experiment and try new things. The more you build, the more confident you'll become as a programmer. Start with small projects and gradually work your way up to more challenging ones. The key is to keep building and keep learning. Section 9. The joy of breaking things. Debugging as a learning tool. Debugging is an essential part of programming. It's the process of finding and fixing errors in your code. While it can be frustrating at times, debugging is also a valuable learning opportunity. Each error you encounter is a chance to deepen your understanding of how code works. When you encounter an error, don't panic. Take a deep breath and approach the problem systematically. Read the error message carefully. It often provides helpful clues about what went wrong. Use debugging tools to step through your code line by line and examine the values of variables. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There are countless online resources and communities where you can find support from other programmers. Explain your problem clearly and provide relevant code snippets. Often, just explaining the problem to someone else can help you see the solution. Remember, debugging is not a sign of failure. It's an integral part of the programming process. Embrace the challenge, learn from your mistakes, and celebrate your victories when you finally squash those pesky bugs. Section 10. From beginner to badass. Embracing the journey of a programmer. Learning to program is a journey, not a destination. There will be ups and downs, moments of frustration, and moments of triumph. The key is to embrace the journey and enjoy the ride. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. And most importantly, never stop learning. The world of programming is constantly evolving. New languages, frameworks, and tools emerge all the time. Embrace this constant evolution and be open to learning new things. Challenge yourself to step outside your comfort zone and explore different areas of programming. Remember, programming is a creative and rewarding endeavor. It's a powerful tool that allows you to bring your ideas to life. So, go forth, create something amazing, and have fun along the way. Section 11. Programming. It's about solving problems, not memorizing syntax. In the ever-evolving world of technology, programming has emerged as a superpower, a language that empowers us to communicate with machines and shape the digital landscape. But amidst the allure of coding boot camps and the pressure to master complex syntax, it's easy to lose sight of the true essence of programming problem solving. Programming is not about memorizing every line of code or becoming a walking encyclopedia of syntax. It's about cultivating a mindset, a way of thinking that allows us to break down complex problems into smaller, more manageable chunks. It's about logic, creativity, and the relentless pursuit of elegant solutions. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information or intimidated by the perceived complexity of code, remember this: programming is a skill that anyone can learn. Focus on the fundamentals, embrace the joy of problem solving, and never lose sight of the incredible things you can create with the power of code.